In this video, the following three aspects will be dealt with. First, we're going to learn what the so-called action research cycle is. Then, we will have a look at practical examples, how the research cycle can be applied to our teaching, and thirdly, we're going to highlight and discuss the positive outcomes of action research in practice. What is the action research cycle? Action research is a cycle of inquiry and reflection. During the process, you will determine where you are, where you want to be, and finally, how you're going to get there. In general terms, the cycle follows these steps. Number 1, identify the problem and envision success. This is more or less the problem in the classroom you want to address and solve, or an aspect in practice you want to improve. It's important to make sure that it is a problem you want to solve. Then you learn more about the problem by turning to theory. 2. Action plan. After you have designated the problem and did some literature work, it is time to develop an action plan, which means all the methods, steps you want to use and take to improve yourself. 3. Implement your plan and collect data. You implement your solution, the methods, steps, and the planned changes to practice. In doing this, it is important to rely on data and have your reflective journal. For example, if your goal is increased time on task, the data may include classroom and student observation done by a colleague or video recording. Number 4, analyze data and reflect. What did you learn from the data and the process? In this phase, reflection with your critical friends is very important. Number 5, modify your theory and repeat the cycle, or carry on using the solution you develop. Number 6, report the results. This is all about sharing your results with others because this helps you further reflect on the processes and problems. Based on the extended version of the action research cycle, we want to present the following adapted action research cycle for teachers. So here are the steps. Number 1, planning. Number 2, acting. Number 3, observing. And number 4, reflecting. Here's an example. Anne is a primary school teacher. She notices that her students work hard in a science class, but are generally passive and unexcited. Naturally, Anne wants her learners to be more engaged and to enjoy the science lessons. What she can do is use the adapted action research cycle, starting with planning. She wonders if the use of cooperative learning strategies will stimulate them to make higher-level investigations and discoveries and awake more enthusiasm. She discusses her concerns and ideas with her other colleagues. Acting. Based on their advice, Anne develops and implements her plan using cooperative learning strategies. She divides the class into 6 teams. Each team is responsible for predicting and testing which fruits and vegetables will float or sink in a bowl of water. They have to record their findings in a table. Afterwards, a randomly selected student in each group reports back to the whole class and shares their group's hypothesis as to why some objects float and others sink. During this stage, Anne facilitates this guided discovery of the concept of density. Observing. She also made observations during the activities and asks the students for feedback in the form of a questionnaire. Reflecting. Finally, she reflects on the process and writes a reflective report that she shares with her colleagues. The key element of the entire action research process is discussion and conversation with your colleagues and peers from the moment you decide you want to improve something in your practice to the point you want to share your actions and observations with your colleagues and peers.